Shalom. We are the I.S.U.P.K coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander GEN.YAHANNA. Today's topic is there's more plagues to come. COVID-19, that's just the most famous one right now. That's all it is. It's just more famous than the other ones that's to come. China was supposed to had a situation where they were supposed to had got like pretty much rid of the not rid of, but they supposed to have the COVID-19 under control. But that's as the scriptures say, what good is it if you escape a lion and a bear met you? So even though they're probably have somewhat of a handle on COVID-19, now the bird flu and the chicken flu is coming back out over there. These type of deals is coming back out over there because, for one thing, the Chinese are still eating dogs, rats, cats, and bats. They're still doing that. As a matter of fact, I kind of want to, I want to go back into the dietary laws. That's what I want to do, because this tells people what to eat and what not. But first, before I do that, I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 30, and I think I'll start at about the first verse. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse. The blessing and the curse come upon the nation of Israel, right? Because we was at the height of the blessing during the time of, King Solomon. We was at the height of the blessing. But, we were brought down to the lowest level of the curse by slavery. Which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among the nations, whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee. What does it mean by we'll call them to mind? Let me give you an example. There will be men that will stand on the corners and quote these curses and let everybody and bring the stuff into everybody's remembrance, even though they don't remember them. But then they'll sit there and think, well, damn, that is us. Now, that's when the remembrance will come into mind right there. And thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee, and shalt return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee. If any be driven out into the utmost, I want to skip through. I want to skip down for a second. I want to skip down to verse 7. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies. Think about this for a second. Now, when we sit there and see the enemies getting COVID-19 and getting all of that stuff, and they're sitting there and suffering because the Chinese and Japanese, all the Asians been able to eat all the evil foods that they, been wanting to eat, and they're still living to be 100-something years old, right? And known for their wisdom and health and all of that, but they're eating, octopuses and, octopus and squid and rice, things like that. Things that are unlawful for us to eat. But with the truth coming out, so now they have to get punished in measure. Think about this, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, before the truth was coming out of it, the Japanese could eat whatever they wanted to eat. They could eat whatever they wanted to eat, and you didn't hear of no conditions happening to them because of it. But now that the truth is coming out, and the more of us that are separating from the heathens, that are eating the lawful things that the Most High wants us to eat, now we're starting to see a little something happening to our enemies. The more righteous we get, the more their people is going to be punished, which is their just due. What do they do to us? What are they doing to us? Right? They was judo flipping black women around their damn hair stores, right? That's what they were doing. Black women shouldn't be wearing no damn weaves. Straight up. And what people don't know is a lot of those weaves that get off, I'm just saying, they get off dead bodies. That's why you have the conditions, where the sisters are getting the maggots inside their heads and stuff like that. That's the reason why. And on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee, and thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. This is what blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians got to do. This is what we got to do. We got to stop, thinking about this. This is all of our problem. All of that stuff, man. Get out of that. And also, too, like I was saying, there's black people that are being destroyed by the COVID-19. Also, a lot of black people are being destroyed by it. Now we have to think, because that was actually one of, and then in China also too. What are they doing? They're trying to kick black people out of China. That's what they're doing with in China. They're trying to kick black people, totally out of China, and making us the blame behind the COVID-19. That's what they're doing. The whole world hates us. That's what we got to understand. The whole world does. So if the whole world hates us, then that means we got to stay away from the world. I mean, it makes sense, right? As simple as that. Like I said, the whole world hates us, and this has historically been proven. Whenever you got any type of situation, you go into any part of history where there's been any major thing that's happened to America, who did they blame? They blamed us, always, regardless of what it was. Whether it was the Depression, World War One, World War Two, whatever the hell it was, Vietnam War, whatever it was that was going on the earth, they always blamed us. And we have to think about that for a second. Why do they always blame us? Because hell, go into Katrina, right? Go into that. They've always hated us, regardless. So how should that blow over to us? That means we need to separate from them. That's what it means. Let them do them, and we be over here with us. That's that. It's not no time for sitting there, trying to, be swirling or whatever you want to call it, any of that stuff, or trying to, have, friends of other nations and all of that. It's not, certainly not that time. Well, it wasn't that time when we thought it was that time, because they're never going to be our friends. They're always going to see the benefit of their own people while sitting there trying to rob you of even caring for yours. That's the way it is. The world is warfare. It just is what it is. Yeah. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 22. Now, let me tell people why, because why people, so many blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are getting this COVID-19 and all of that. Deuteronomy 28 and 22. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption. What is that? Consumption has to do with your lungs. What does the COVID-19 do? It has to do with your lungs. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption and with a fever. How do they test people for COVID-19? With a fever, they test the people's temperature, right? And with the inflammation, and with the extreme burning, and with a sword. Because think about it. I mean, what do they have? Because, like I said, they're trying to blame everything on us. The Most High is hitting them, and us that are joined with them, he has to hit us too. Because that, all of these curses that do Deuteronomy 28 has to do with us being joined to another nation. The Most High want to judge them. What the hell are we doing trying to save them for? And trying to be among them and trying to do all of that? Why? Just like we got people quarantined now, and this is another thing too. People being quarantined. Well, this is bringing out a whole lot of demons. I'll tell you that. She mad because she can't be with her work husband. She can't be with the dude that she was telling you that I'm just gonna be a little late because such and such all of this and all of that. Act like she going to work, but she really going to see him and all of that. Now she's quarantined. Now she because there ain't no work now. Now she got to try and come with another excuse to try and go see dude. You know what I'm saying? So now when she run out of excuses, now she's mad at you because you are not who she really wants. What she really wants is what is that strange thing. That's making her squirt. I'm just saying, the strange thing. You are too close to normal. Like what she's supposed to have. A man, man, woman, children, house, car, all of that stuff. You're too close to normal. But that thing she get outside of there, outside of your relationship, that's a little risky. Living on the edge. You know what I'm saying? So she likes that. But now she's quarantined. Whatever city it is that you in, because some places it's more harsh than others. But now she ain't got no excuse to run around and be with him. Now she's arguing with you. She mad at you now because she can't be with him. So she's pissed off. So now when she go into the other room and get on the phone and shut the door, now you know what's up. Straight up. And with blasting and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. It's one of the curses that the Most High gets down. That consumption, like I said, regardless of what it is, I mean that like that Corona 19, whatever COVID 19, that hits the lungs. It's a lung disease, from what I know about it. It hits them lungs. Get inside the ISUPK. Real talk. All right. Let's see questions. A second. Now let's go to we're gonna do right there. We're gonna go to Ezekiel. I'm not Salakia, Exodus chapter 1. We're gonna start at verse 12. Ezekiel, Exodus chapter 1 and verse 12. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, means put us up under hard bondage. And they were doing this intentionally. It wasn't about just profit. We be thinking everything about profit. No, it really, in reality, it's about breaking us. It's not about profit. The devil done closed down this whole goddamn country. So obviously, everything ain't about profit. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage. That's the purpose right there. Is to make our lives bitter, to break us down, to break our spirit, and all of that. That's the way that they make good slaves, by breaking the spirit of the slaves. In mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. There it goes, with rigor. Verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which one the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when you do the office of the midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them up on the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. Because who is the biggest threat? The biggest threat is a black, Hispanic, or Native Indian man. That's the biggest threat. You know, I know a lot of people, like, no, the woman, she's the big threat, and she's such a big, she's a goddess and a queen and all of that. No, that's not how it is. That man, that man is the threat because the man has the ability to go to war. The man also carries the seed that it has the identity of the child. A woman, they can sit there and take a woman and produce whatever agenda they want out of her. They can sit there and have sex with a black woman. A white man could have sex with a black woman. That's going to be a white child, regardless. You know, he's not going to have the spirit of a black man, even though he might even come out to look somewhat like a black man. But he's not a black man. His spirit is that of his father, which is a white man. That's his spirit. That's who he is. And we've been ignorant of this thing, you know. We've been very ignorant concerning this. And that's why we was running around for so long thinking Bob Marley was black, and countless others, Harry Belafonte, and people like that. We thought those were black men. Those ain't no black men. And they shouldn't be speaking up on anything concerning a black issue. They should be speaking on the behalf of their people. But here's the thing with that. Their people don't accept them because of their Negro mother. So they're just stuck, actually what they should be is stuck inside of a damn limbo somewhere. And just as hard as they push them up on us, we should push them back up on them, you know. Then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared God and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. Now, those were women that the Lord was actually with. We in a time like that, to be honest with you, we in that time. This Corona 19 stuff is just the beginning, man. It's just the beginning. That's what it is. It's the beginning of things. It's more stuff to come outside of this. It's more. All right, now we can skip on over to Second Ezra, chapter 16. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloth of sackcloth and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. And we're starting to see that thing now because this COVID-19 stuff is hitting, it's hitting the four corners. It's hitting the four corners of the earth right now. That's what it's doing because actually this consists of the whole world. That COVID-19 is hitting the four corners. It's hitting everything. It's hitting all the directions. So think about that. And not only that, man, the other things are just seen again. The bird flu and the what was it called? The swine flu. Not the chicken flu. I called it the chicken flu earlier. The swine flu. That's what it is. The swine flu is back on the scene. Hardcore. Yeah, they supposed to be, in China, they're supposed to be coming up out of here's the thing. And a matter of fact, with that, what are they doing? They talking about how China is coming out of the corona, the COVID-19, deal, but then they're kicking blacks out because they believe that they having the COVID-19 and blaming it on black people, right? But now I thought they were supposed to be coming up out of that, right? They coming out of that. Why you kicking people out then? If they coming up out of that, right? But then they have the swine flu coming, you know, and the swine flu has done came back, and the bird flu also is coming back too. I don't know what type of bird, you know what I'm saying, brought that kind of flu, but it's called the bird flu. And that's coming back on the scene also. Strong. So, you know, just like I said before, you know, in the scripture, what good is it if you escaped a lion and a bear met you? Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair, bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is set upon you, and who may turn it back? Hey, ain't nobody turning this thing back. And to be honest with you, keep it all the way real. I don't mean to scare the hell out of nobody, but you know, this COVID-19 thing and what's going on right now, it's not going to be turned back. You know, it's not going to be turned back. Even if it's turned back for a little bit or whatever, it's going to get hit. Something that's going to hit twice as bad in a relatively short period of time. You know, people thinking that they're going to be, you know, oh man, you know, as soon as this quarantine's lifted, we're going to be doing all kind of stuff here, and everybody going to be out in the street partying and everything. Man, it's going to be bad. It's not going to be good. I'll tell you that. Let me keep reading though. A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? No man's gonna drive away a hungry lion. He's been hungry for a little minute. He's like, man, I got to eat something. I got to turn something up. But you know what? You know, think about it though. With this situation, look at all that's been happening to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and all the abominations that's been done here in America, and all of that. So now this thing is sent forth. This thing ain't gonna be sent back. It's not gonna be turned back. It's straight out. I mean, you know, I'm just reading what the Bible says. It's not gonna be turned back. This place is at its end. It just is what it is. It's at its end. It's done for. You know, that's it. You know, a lot of people looking forward to the day. Yeah, well, I can't wait till they uplift this thing. You know, I can't wait till they uplift it. You know, I'm gonna do, you know, this and that. You know, I'm gonna, you know, gonna be, you know, doing a. Yeah, you might coast at that for a little second, maybe. And right inside your jollity, all hell's gonna break loose. Let me keep reading. Or may anyone quench the fire in the stubble when it had begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? Of course not. I ain't never seen nobody turn back an arrow from an archer that's got a strong bow, he's strong and all of that. Nobody can do that. This thing is going forward, man. It's going forward. And for one thing, you got to get them catch the arrow first. If you try and catch the damn arrow, the only damn thing it's going to do, because, you know, you're shooting with so many pounds of pressure, probably tear the damn skin off your goddamn inside of your hands and still keep going. You know, you got damn crossbows that can shoot through a thick tree. So if they can shoot through a thick tree, uh, even if you was to be, you know, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon and try and catch a damn arrow, it's still, you know, it's not going to work. It's a done deal. I'm old school. You know, Bruce Leroy, you know, Last Dragon, that happened way back in the 80s, you know, for all you old heads out there. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, may one turn again the arrow that is shot from a strong archer. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, plural, not singular, but plural, the plagues. And who is he that can drive them away? No one. I don't give a damn how many vaccines they come with. This thing is going forward, you know. This thing is going forward. I don't give a damn how many vaccines they come with. What good is it to come with a vaccine and there's something else? Now you got to come with a vaccine for that. They got to come with a vaccine for that. And then you're sick off of vaccines. And then, you know, I mean, you know, this thing is certainly of the Lord to put his plan into play. A fire shall go forth from his wrath. And who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? This is different plagues. This is different plagues. And then think about it simultaneously with the coronavirus going on. Look at the earthquakes that's been happening too. Yeah, you might dodge one thing. I mean, we're worried about the corona 19, but it's, you know, all these other things that's happening also. Yeah, and all of this other stuff that's going on. So I mean, when the plagues start hitting four, five, six at a time, the people's gonna really start to lose their mind and start to pull their hair out their goddamn head. We're just keeping it real. Right now, we're worried about the COVID-19. People got the masks on, all of that running around, you know. But damn, what about now? Think about it. If one plague broke everything down like this, imagine what the other three or four that's going to come behind it's going to do. Because you can't recover from this one. It's like being jumped. You know, one dude you fought one, you fighting one dude. Dude got the best of you. Now you got three or four other dudes coming too. What you gonna do? Get inside the ISUPK. That's what you do. Brotherhood is the key. And there is another thing too, because it's going to be a lot of things it's going to be a lot of spirits talking to you, trying to get you not to join the ISUPK. Because they want to destroy you, because that's the demon's job, is to destroy you, to kill you. Because you're a threat. Because you're looking at the truth and trying to maybe move forward towards it. So now you piss them off. So now they got to kill you, you know, in hopes that you don't, you know, edify anyone else and try to move them towards the truth. You know, tell you it's a serious game to be playing here. You know, this is dead serious. He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh. That I was just talking about the earthquakes. And the earthquakes were hitting in all of these different places. What was the one hitting in Greece? And I can't remember where they. There was a few more, and I can't remember exactly where they were at. But you know, these were big earthquakes. These weren't no little pump quakes. These weren't no damn tremors. These were big. and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled. What do you got now? What they call them, the typhoons, tsunamis, or whatever they call that stuff. And they said they're coming from the deep. So when they come from the deep and rise up like that, what are they doing? They're destroying every goddamn thing that's up on. There we go. Most I spoke these things. And before the glory of his power, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. And they begin to be shot into the ends of the world, yeah, because they're going to hit where the Most High wants them to hit. Earthquake in Greece, Italy, or wherever in the hell, the Most High intended for that to happen. So just like, wherever the Most High, shoots the COVID-19, that was meant to happen. It is what it is. And then you got the Christian pastor. Where the Christian pastors at now, as a matter of fact? Are we on that subject? Where they at? They're not to be found, are they? Christian pastors ain't doing a damn thing. But here's the thing about it: if or if this thing clears up in the near future, they're going to come out like they've been fighting all along for this. But instead, what they do, they head back and only try to collect your tithes while closing their churches. Why wouldn't they turn those churches into homeless shelters? Or why wouldn't they caring for the sick, caring for the poor? Why weren't they doing any of that? No, they closed them up. So now you got these big old buildings with nothing. You know what I'm saying? All the churches is closed, right? So why not take the churches instead of putting the COVID-19 patients inside the nursing home with people that are already sick and dying? Why not put them into the churches? Why not do that? That would be a more wise thing to do, right? You know why? Because they don't want to care for you. They don't give a damn about you at all. They don't care. And Easter was just yesterday. What they do? Go online and send you a good Easter message. These people are corporate businessmen. They're not shepherds, real shepherds of the Lord. They're not. T.D. Jakes, Gruffalo Dollar, all of those dudes, they are corporate America businessmen. That's what they are. That's that. Like I said, they're corporate America businessmen. They care nothing for you. That's why in the time of disaster, they hide themselves. They're not coming. They should be the first ones to run out, right? They should be the first ones to run out to do something. But when disaster hits, what do? They hide away. You don't hear nothing about them. They'll maybe give you some type of damn, what do call it, a podcast or something from their home or something like that. Yeah, just to try and keep your mind, just trying to keep your allegiance to them. Yeah, they'll do that. But other than that, they're not really trying to do much of anything else. Yeah, they'll do that. They'll, just and all of that is they want to make sure that cheese keep coming. They want to make sure that bread keep coming. That's what they want to do. You keep paying that money Because with you paying that little money, they know that they still. What's even more important than your money is the fact that they have your soul. They have your allegiance. Because if they get that, then your pockets is open. It's open. It's an open book. As long as they keep that, as long as they have your mind in your pocket, you know what I'm saying, it's open. It's like, pimp got a woman's mind. That means her vagina's open and her purse is open. And all of that is open. It's the same concept. Same thing. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We got to learn the true wisdom of the Lord is what we got to do. We got to really get our heads in the game. Stop listening to Pastor Porkchop and all of them. They are nothing. Where your church at now? I mean, is he calling you? Your pastor calling you? Is he sending someone to call you? Even if he got a huge church and he really don't know you personally like that, is he calling you? Is he sending anybody to check on you? Calling you? No, he's not. Even if he know you, he don't give a damn about that, because when the rubber meets the road, he cares about himself and his immediate family, his daughter, son, wife, all of that. Who's probably whoring on him, but anyway, he cares about that. He cares about his own family when it all boils down to it. That's what he cares about. He doesn't give a damn about you. That's why, it's a chapter here in the Bible that says, woe be unto the pastors in Ezekiel 34. In times like this is how you get to see who's really on your side and who ain't. And that Christian pastor is certainly not on your side. He's nowhere near it. He never was. Well, we believe him because we love rich Negroes. Our mind is, formed just like the devil's mind. It's the devil first, and then under him is other races, then under them is rich Negroes. Then under him, the rich Negroes, is the black woman. It kind of shifts a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because you can have a rich black woman and she'll be up at like Oprah or something like that. That's the regular layout for this thing. The black woman, and under the black woman, actually, under the black woman is the kids. And under the kids is the black man. That black man is actually under everything else. He under the job, he under everything. He's at the total bottom of everything in her mind. That's the reason why a lot of you brothers, broke up with a potential rib or something yesterday. Because she's like, no, I'm going to be with my family. I'm going to such and such. And you're going to see what she really loves, for real. And this has been proven throughout history. A person come into the knowledge of the truth, and that show you also, too, she was only really dealing with you because she believed that you would conform to what she believes. And when you show that you won't do that, okay, now, all right, oh no, can't deal with him. You got to go. And that's how that thing be. A lot of these brothers ain't leaving these sisters. These sisters want to put the brother in a situation to where he is up under her. And he does whatever she wants him to do, because in her mind, she's the head. You the head when it comes to like paying bills and everything like that, whatever servitude you can do, rubbing her feet, all of that, you the head when it comes to all of that. any type of service, servitude. But when it comes to actually, correcting and guiding her, now you done violated. Now it's a different story now. Let me go back into reading. Verse 12. Second Ezra, chapter 16, verse 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also, before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. Now, think about this. When they talk about to the ends of the world, to the ends of the value system that's up on this planet, the arrows will be shot. You know what I'm saying? And we can sit there and see because, think about it, all right? Now, you got one value system. We'll go for big, huge sports events. That's of the world. All right. How many stadiums is being packed now? Well, not many. They're not being because one thing, you can't be in big, large groups. So this stuff is shutting down everything. The arrow hit. Things have been shut down that we've never known to be shut down in our whole lives. I was watching an MMA event, and they had like maybe 30, 40 people, UFC, the big dogs of the MMA events. They had like maybe 30, 40 people. The whole thing, it was the quietest MMA match I ever saw in my life. Even the small, super smallest scale events are packed. That event, and that's the UFC, the creme de la creme, and no one was in the stadiums. The arrow was shot, hit its mark, done. Talk about Rome falling, huh? Yeah. And these are things we never even seen in our lives. I'm 45 years old. I never saw nothing like that in my whole life. I done seen niggas' backyards fatter than I seen that UFC event. I'm just saying. And with that being said, while the I.S.U.P.K coming out of 1 West on 25th Street, Harlem, New York, and the Commander Gen.YAHANNA, pay your tithes, support this truth. This time, more than any, it's time for everybody to come into this truth. It's time for people that been sitting there and just waiting, on the wing or whatever, to get into this truth and start making that phone call to the I.S.U.P.K camp near you and find out what to do. Pay your tithes, pay your donations, send arms, and start to really support this thing because time is very, very, very short. With that being said, Shalom. Well, the I.S.U.P.K started out at 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York. Group of new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10 means tenth in the Hebrew, Mayashua. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give the Treasury Department a teacher. Priest fund. We will offer for priests. Non-mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocation. We have the Passover coming up May 9th. Be there. Announce Holy Convocation sheet. Remind Akim and Aqua to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black. Boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that being said, Imagine, find out you're dumb, rise face east. We'll do the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Dash, Ayah, Shaka, Hawa, Lapaka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Ayah, Aisha, Baharataza, Kawa, Ayah, Bashamayim, Latananaw, Kam, Call, Yawam, Basalak now, Kabawak you now, Kasalak now, Kabawak you now, Walla Tabiyah now, Banasai one, Abal, I was shy now, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa Allah, Wa Tapar, Lawalayam, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Sir. Men of Israel, Majah Shabbat, Majah, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem al-Shabrak Thumb. Yazmatah, courtesy salute to the sisters. Majah Shabbat, Majah, Barak, Yahweh Shemar al-Thah Ba'ashem al-Shah. Yazmatah, class dismissed.